Hello, Oliver Phillips here. In a recent blog entitled Towards a Christian Response to the Replacement Theory, I attempted to make the case for the embedded, subtle, systematic American orientation towards immigrants and other ethnic people groups. This positioning, I claim, is false, ill-founded, racist, xenophobic, and inevitably leads to suspicion and distrust. This treatise, entitled The Contributions of Immigrants to U.S. Businesses, exposes the dynamic contribution of immigrants to the economic landscape. Immigrants are increasingly important to the American economy. They are heavily represented in our workforce and contribute greatly to the economy. They also have a larger proclivity to start businesses than individuals born here in the United States. Immigrant workers contribute to the support of the elderly native-born population by increasing the number of workers in comparison to retirees, so enhancing the Medicare and Social Security trust funds. Immigrant children are also upwardly mobile, suggesting future benefits to not only their families, but also to the U.S. economy as a whole. This blog highlights the various economic contributions of immigrants to the United States economy. It brings to the forefront the contributions of immigrant entrepreneurs in starting firms, creating jobs, and revitalizing the economy. There are 4 reasons that I believe that help or aid immigrants as they move through the U.S. economy. First of all, there is job creation. The act of relocating to a new country is inherently brave and dangerous. As a result, it's no mystery that immigrants are more enterprising than the general population. These immigrant-owned businesses employ millions of Americans and produce billions of dollars in annual revenue. Despite accounting for just above 13.6% and 17.1% of the U.S. population and labor force, respectively, immigrant entrepreneurs accounted for up to 21.7% of all businesses proprietors in 2019. In fact, the rebound from the Great Recession was aided by foreign-born entrepreneurs and the employment that they created. Between 2007 and 2011, these immigrant entrepreneurs started a huge number of new enterprises throughout the country. The variety of industries in which immigrants start enterprises is just as essential as the regularity with which they do so. In 7 of the 8 industries that the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics forecasts to thrive the fastest within the next decade, immigrants begin more than 25% of all enterprises. They also play an important part in the formation of both mainstream and high-tech businesses. Immigrants are known to be inventive, including Alexander Graham, Albert Einstein, and even Elon Musk. A staggering number of American startup founders are immigrants. From 1995 to 2005, immigrants founded 52% of new Silicon Valley businesses. While some of these businesses did not become household names, the significance of well-known brands cannot be overlooked. Instagram, Tesla, LinkedIn, Instacart, DoorDash, Facebook, and Robinhood are all well-known brands founded by immigrants. Secondly, there is productivity. Job creation goes hand in hand with productivity. These immigrants bring a slew of ingenuity and talents. According to a 2011 poll of the best 50 venture capital-backed companies, half of them had at least an immigrant founder, and 3/4 of them had immigrants in research and top managerial roles. According to the National Science Board in 2009, students born abroad but holding a temporary visa and studying in American colleges received a major percentage of advanced degrees in engineering and science. Besides, each year this number drastically increases, going up to 18% in 2012. In 2011, out of the top 10 United States patent-producing universities, there was at least one immigrant in 76% of the patents. This rate is twice that of the natives, or of the native population. Furthermore, states that have a high proportion of foreign-born workers also have a higher productivity development. In reaction to increased competition from immigrants, less skilled natives frequently abandon manual jobs in favor of occupations that stress language and communication skills. This specialism allows for a more efficient labor allocation, resulting in higher incomes and productivity for both native and immigrant workers. Thirdly, essential services and taxes. In 2018, immigrants contributed $458.7 billion to the U.S. economy. Even undocumented immigrants are not left behind in this. They pay $11.74 billion in local and state taxes, including $1.1 billion in personal income taxes. As expected, these taxes are used for hospitals, schools, highways, and even emergency response. If these undocumented immigrants were granted legal status, the revenue will even grow by $2.18 billion every year. What about the Social Security Fund? Do you know that if the present legal immigration numbers were slashed by half over the next 75 years, the Social Security Fund will lose a whopping $1.5 trillion. These immigrants rarely contribute a lot in terms of revenue, and if for any reason they are gone, then the economy will be left reeling from the effect of their absence. Number 4, immigration encourages higher wages. The United States labor markets immigrants not only keep American corporations in check in terms of pay for local workers, but they also lead to higher wages for workers, whether they are immigrants or not. No thanks to the current technological age, outsourcing and automation, which require less personnel to complete particular activities, have done more damage to salaries than what immigrants themselves in areas requiring lower skilled workers have done. However, lower pay discourages native-born Americans from working in these low-wage jobs, necessitating the use of migrant labor to fill these gaps, including immigrants in the workforce, independent of their skill level, boosts consumption, saving, and investment, resulting in higher GDP and economic expansion. So the question you may ask, what makes immigrants thrive? And I have 3 reasons why I believe immigrants, for of course you may know I am an immigrant myself. There are 3 reasons why immigrants thrive. Number 1, a growth mindset. In today's business world, having a development mindset is essential. A person who has a growth mentality feels that their abilities are not fixed. They feel that by working hard, devising sound methods, and soliciting feedback from others, they can accomplish more. Immigrants have this growth mindset. They are willing to uproot their life in search of something better and are committed to bringing about change on their own. To migrate to a new nation, one must have a high level of trust in one's own ability to change, as well as a high level of risk tolerance. Number 2, adaptability. Adaptation abilities are required to live, much alone prosper, in a new environment. When you are immersed in a foreign environment, and especially when learning another language, change isn't a one-time event, but rather a daily demand or exercise. Adapting is a hard and challenging process that must be repeated regularly. This is what immigrants experience daily. It causes a reappraisal of the familiar and necessitates a shift in one's thinking and behavior. It is why, even if they came from an affluent or privileged upbringing in their native country, immigrants shed their sense of entitlement really fast. And number 3 is this idea of a global readiness. We live in a global society. Immigrants' international expertise is one of the most commonly ignored advantages that they offer to a corporate setting. Knowledge of different languages and cultures may not appear to be necessary for a company that isn't yet selling outside of its own nation, but particularly every company eventually needs to go outside of its boundaries to continue to thrive successfully. The immigrants come to this diversity and readiness to deliver. In conclusion, immigrants are very important in every society. They bring a wealth of experience and are more determined for success than even the national population. In the US, we have seen the impacts of these immigrants on the economy, and we hope that more immigrant-friendly laws will be put in place to further better our land and to become a more perfect union. In closing, let me take this opportunity to offer you my new book, My Neighbor Next Door, Reaching Communities Through Cultural Intelligence. You can get it on Amazon for $15.95. God bless you, and you have a good day. This is, this, of course, we are celebrating Juneteenth, and it is good that we understand what happened on Juneteenth, or what precipitated Juneteenth. The results of Reconstruction and Jim Crow and the lynching. So happy Juneteenth to all of you. God bless you, and you have a great day.